Hello, my name is Martin Hyun. I'm a writer and author from Berlin, and I'm reading one of my favorite articles written by Howard Zinn, Artists in Times of War. It is normally a little longer, but I've cropped it to 2 pages. I will start to read. Artists in Times of War by Howard Zinn. When I think of the relationship between artists and society, and for me the question is always what it could be rather than what it is, I think of the word transcendent. By transcendent I mean that the artist transcends the immediate, the here and now, the madness of the world, terrorism and war. The artist thinks, acts, performs music, and writes outside the framework that society has created. The artists may do no more than give us beauty, laughter, passion, surprise, and drama. I don't mean to minimize these activities by saying the artist can do no more than this. The artist needn't apologize because by doing this, the artist is telling us what the world should be like, even if it isn't that way now. The artist is taking us away from the moments of horror that we experience every day, some days more than others, by showing us what is possible. But the artists can and should do more. In addition to creating works of art, the artist is also a citizen and a human being. The way that society tends to classify us scares me. I'm a historian. I don't want to be just a historian, but society puts us into a discipline. Yes, disciplines us. You're a historian. You're a businessman. You're an engineer. You're this or you're that. The first thing someone asks you at a party is, what do you do? That means, how are you categorized? The problem is that people begin to think that's all they are. They are professionals in something. You hear the word professionalism being used often. People say, you have to be professional. Whenever I hear the word, I get a little scared because that limits human beings to working within the confines set by their profession. I faced this as a historian. During the Vietnam War, there were meetings of historians. While the war was raging in Southeast Asia, the question was, should historians take a stand on the war? There was a big debate about this. Some of us introduced a resolution saying that we historians think the United States should get out of Vietnam. Other historians objected. They said, it's not that we don't think the United States should get out, but we are just historians. It's not our business. But whose business is it? The historian says, it's not my business. The lawyer says, it's not my business. The businessman says, it's not my business. And the artist says, it's not my business. Then whose business is it? Does that mean you are going to leave the business of the most important issues in the world to the people who run the country? How stupid can we be? Haven't we had enough experience historically with leaving the important decisions to the people in the White House, Congress, the Supreme Court, and those who dominate the economy? There are certain historical moments when learning is more compressed and intense than others. Since September 11th, we have been in such a moment. So the word transcendence comes to mind when I think of the role of the artist in dealing with the issues of the day. I use that word to suggest that the role of the artist is to transcend conventional wisdom, to transcend the word of the establishment, to transcend the orthodoxy, to go beyond and escape what is handed down by the government or what is said in the media. Some people in the arts and in other professions think, yes, let's get involved. Let's get involved in the way we are told to. You see them getting into line in the way they are expected to when the president asks them to do so. And that is echoed by everyone else in politics. How many times have I read in the press since September 11th that we must be united? What do they mean by that? I would like us to be united, but united around what? When people say we must be united, they state explicitly or implicitly that we must be united around whatever the president tells us to do. As soon as you speak outside the boundaries, as soon as you say things that are different from what the establishment, the media, and leading intellectuals are telling you to say, the question of your patriotism arises. To criticize the government is the highest act of patriotism. If someone accuses you of not being patriotic, you ought to remind him or her of the Declaration of Independence. Of course, everyone praises the Declaration when it is hung up on a classroom wall, but not when people read. The Declaration of Independence says that governments are artificial creations. They are set up by the people of the country to achieve certain objectives: the equality of all people and the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, the Declaration says it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute a new government. That's democratic doctrine. That's the idea of democracy. Therefore, there are times when it becomes absolutely patriotic to point a finger at the government to say that it is not doing what it should be doing to safeguard the right of citizens to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Today, everybody is talking about the fact that we live in one world because of globalization. We are all part of the same planet. They talk that way, but do they mean it? We should test their claims. We should remind them that the words of the Declaration apply not only to the people in this country, but also to people all over the world. People everywhere have the same right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. When the government becomes destructive of that, then it is patriotic to dissent and to criticize, to do what we always praise and call heroic when we look upon the dissenters and critics in totalitarian countries who dare to speak out.